Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here with a Dino Fury discussion video. This is going to be talking about the recent huge revelation in Dino Fury's mid-season finale about the role the Morphin Masters played in some Ranger powers we already know about. Before we get started though, I just want to remind you to like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to see more Power Rangers news, toy reviews, and all my other nonsense. And also you have to ring that bell so you get notifications. It's a two-step process, folks. But anyway, this video is kind of just going to be explaining things for those that may have missed it, or, you know, didn't want to watch, or is confused, and just to also discuss what it means and some of the things I found interesting about this revelation. So, the Morphin Masters, I already did a video kind of explaining like who they are and some of the stuff we have so far, so I'll link to that, so I'm not going to retread on that, but I'll just say that Dino Fury is the first season so far that has incorporated the Morphin Masters as a means of directly giving the Rangers their powers. But it turns out they weren't the first ones. In this episode, we learned that they created the Ninja Nexus Prism from Ninja Steel and sent it floating around. They created the Enter Gems, and they also created the Dino Gems from Power Rangers Dino Thunder. It's funny because when I first watched it, I didn't catch it until I was editing the review, because I saw the gems, but for some reason I thought those gems were just like energy crystals they were putting into the Nexus Prism to make the stars. And then when I was slowing everything down, I'm like, oh, those are the Dino Gems. And then part of me for a split second thought they were the crystals that they used in the Megazord for the original Mighty Morphin, and they were behind the coins. But that's all we know so far. As of this recording, it's only confirmed that they've created the Dino Thunder powers, the Dino Charge powers, and Ninja Steel powers, and of course the Dino Fury powers. So you know what that means. The Morphin Masters are to blame for all the Dino seasons. I wouldn't be surprised if we learned they made the power coins at some point. But that's very interesting. And the first thing I want to draw attention to that I find interesting, which I think is largely because it was just different teams in charge of the series at the time, but the thing that was always the most mysterious about the Enter Gems and the Ninja Steel powers was that they were basically just ready-made Ranger powers. You just bonded with it, and it had the whole system ready. You know, the red Enter Gem touches Tyrannosaurus, and it makes an entire system of suits and weapons and Zords. But, well, I guess Xeno might make the Zords, but you know what I mean. But the suits and all of that aesthetics based around it, and it's just like a ready-made Ranger program because it's so tied to the grid. I think we kind of all assumed that. Mick reiterated that the Ninja Steel Nexus Prism is tied to the grid, but now we know why, because the Morphin Masters did that. But that being said, the Dino Gem powers don't work quite the same. Unlike the Enter Gems and the Ninja Nexus Prism, they don't instantly just create a power system. They do give the person powers and, you know, makes them more powerful and probably connects them to the grid, but they needed someone, namely Haley and Tommy, to create the Morpher, to create the actual suit and Ranger system. And I thought that was interesting. I think that was probably because, you know, Dino Charge and Ninja Steel were made back-to-back by the same team, so it makes sense, and it was a little bit different team back in Dino Charge, or Dino Fury. God, Dino Thunder, all the dang Dino seasons. Dang you, Morphin Masters. You know what I mean? I think that that's interesting, and I think the real reason is just from the meta franchise, and that's why. But I have a theory, and I'm going to talk about it in another video, so if you watch both videos, sorry about that. But I think that maybe they were wanting to take those powers and steer them towards Tommy to bring him back into the Ranger world, and then that would give him a reason to create the Ranger powers and create this base and meet Haley, and maybe the Morphin Masters do more than just, which we've seen, they observe events, maybe they do more than just create powers, but they will interfere or maybe guide events, almost like the Force to a degree, because we saw them watching the Beast Morphers Rangers. Some people think they had involvements in Steel being resurrected and stuff like that, so that's just going to be my headcanon for now, that maybe they were trying to get Tommy back in the game, and so that they steered the Dino Gems towards him and gave him a reason to sort of more actively create Ranger powers, just as a reason why they work differently. But I definitely think that's interesting. I mean, I think it was cool that they explained the Enter Gems and the Nexus Prism, but I was really surprised they did a Dino Thunder one. I mean, that's really freaking cool. And this opens up so many different possibilities and questions about what could we learn about in the future that the Morphin Masters were involved in. Other Ranger powers, maybe help connecting to other Ranger powers and stuff like that. But as of now, this episode explained that they created the Ninja Steel powers, the Dino Charge powers, and the Dino Thunder powers, and of course, the Dino Fury powers, but we'll have to see. I have another video coming out very soon where I'm going to kind of discuss more theories on how they may have been involved in every season, so look forward to that. But in the meantime, what did you guys think of this revelation? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.